What up, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy B Phil, and you know what to do. Back again to learn something new. Let's jump into it. So we're gonna go ahead and talk about this final step here, output parsing. Now, if you have a system, and we know, if you don't know, now you gonna know. Typically, you want to transform a particular type of output from one part of the system to another. So maybe you have a SQL query or some SQL output. You want to transform it to some JSON, or maybe you want to integrate with another system and you want to output some JSON. That's what we're going to talk about today. And we want it a bit more structured. So let's see how we do that in Langchain. So first and foremost, we're going to go back to the project that we've been working on. And we're going to go ahead and clean up some things here. And so in order for this to work properly with Langchain, we need to do some additional steps. So let's go ahead and import some output parsers. So we're going to import the output parsers, the output parser for Pydantic. So Pydantic output parser. And then we're going to go ahead and import the Pydantic library. So Pydantic v1, and we need a base model and a field. So just to show you what this actually is, this is Pydantic, and this is the most widely used data validation library for Python. What this allows you to do is generate a JSON schema relatively easy. And so this is going to give us the schema for the JSON that the LLM should output into. So hopefully that gave you a summation of what it's doing. Ultimately, we just want to know what type of customer this person is. We don't want any other information. We don't want an explanation at this point. We just want to know what the customer is. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So first, what we want to do is we want to go ahead and define this base model as a class. So we're going to say class, and we're going to say classification output, and this is going to be a base model. Now, we can get an explanation, and let's just do that for the sake of it. So we'll go categorization, and this is going to be a string. And what we want to do is we want to pass on this string parameter via ... We want to give it a description. And this description, we want to say the category that the customer is. Categorization, just make sure I'm spelling it right? I have a lot of spelling error. And then we want to say explanation and a string. And we'll say the description here is an explanation for the categorization. Great. So now we have the categorization, we have a string, and this is going to be what we had previously. Best customer, okay customer, and worst customer. For this example, we're going to go ahead and eliminate this chat prompt template, as we just need a prompt template here. And we're going to repass this prompt. I just wanted to clean this up, so again, it's a little bit more akin to what you would be doing. I'll show at the end how we can do the system prompt as well. But let's go ahead and start here first. So inside of our prompt template, well, first and foremost, we want to go ahead and initialize an output parser. So our output parser is going to be the Pydantic output parser. And we're going to pass a Pydantic object of classification output. And just so you all see what this is actually doing right now, this is actually going to give us the ability to get the actual format that we want to pass into the model so that it can go ahead and output into that format. So we'll say output parser dot get format instructions, and we're going to print that out here. And so it's going to say the output should be formatted as JSON, as a JSON instance that conforms to the JSON schema below. And then it gives an example. And then you can see here, it has our actual JSON schema here. So categorization, a title, right, a description, so on and so forth. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to update our prompt template to include some partial variables. And this is going to be a dictionary. And inside the dictionary, first and foremost, we want to update our template to have additional instructions. So only output JSON. And then we're going to go new line. And then we're going to go ahead and say format instructions. And in the partial variable, we're going to say format instructions. And then we're going to go ahead and say output parser dot get format instructions. So we're gonna clean this up, make it look nice. All right, great. So now that we've done this, we should be able to just to get these categories as best customer, okay customer, and then worst customer. So let's see how this turns out. We're gonna run python start.py. And as you can see, it gives us a categorization and an explanation. So let's just go ahead and say .content, and we'll run that one more time. And you can see here we just have this JSON. So categorization, okay customer, and an explanation. Brandon is not a dog person, but he's willing to take care of them if needed. So this is going to give us some nice JSON to go ahead and reference. So we can go ahead and do something else with this, and we can go ahead and say output, let's say parsed output, and we'll set that equal to output parser. And this has a nice function on it called parse, and we'll send in the output.content. And so then we want to go ahead and just print the parsed output. All right, let's see what that looks like. And as you can see, it's a nice Pydantic object, or JSON, just an object from Pydantic, right? And it looks nicer, right? So categorization equals this. And now I get some very good functionality here. So I can say .categorization because it's an actual object right now. And we get the actual type hints from it in our code to make it easier to work with. So I could actually do this. So let's go ahead and print that. And we'll run it one more time. And it should print the categorization only. So okay customer. So great. This is one way to use it. Now, what if we're not getting the superb output that we're looking for and we want to pass a system message? We can do that too. So we're going to go ahead and import Langchain core.messages. And we're going to go ahead and import the system message and the human message. Now, we want to do what we did before. We're going to go ahead and create a chat prompt template. So we say chat prompt template, and that's going to equal this chat prompt template. But now what we're going to do is we're going to pass in just the messages, and we're going to pass in a list. And instead of doing what we did last time, which were tuples with just the parentheses, we're going to pass in the system message, and we're going to say the content here equals you are an expert at outputting JSON. And then of course the human message is going to be the next one. So we're going to say human message, and the content of this is going to be the prompt. Now, all things being considered, we should be able to go ahead and pass in this chat prompt template. Let's go ahead and pass in just the string here. Oh, actually, let's see if we can just pass this in like this without formatting. I'm actually super curious if this is going to work. You guys are learning real time. Okay, so it must be a prompt value, a string, or a list. So what we're going to do is we're going to say chat prompt, and we're going to format this chat prompt template. We're going to say format messages, and we're just going to go ahead and do exactly what we did up here. So we're going to pass these. I'm just going to copy and paste from our prompt template. And we should be able to pass in the chat prompt here. And we should be able to run it. So we're going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to Python start. And great. So we get the same output, but we're running it from the actual system prompt. And so hopefully you learn just a few different ways to get you some really solid output to go ahead and pass on to another system, or work internally with other modules or components within your existing system. So that's just going to wrap up the basic intro to Langchain. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what else you want to see. Langchain is a very robust framework, and I definitely like to cover other things that would be useful to you all. So without further ado, it's your boy B-Phil, and I'm gone. Peace.